Hi Engineering Janta, I am Vaibhav Shukla and today we are going to discuss MNC versus startups. What should you join as a candidate? This question is always burning among freshers and the people who are early in their career, right? So to answer that question for you today, I'll tell you how to make this choice. Look, this choice is very personal for every individual. But that choice should be done in an informed manner. And to do that, I'll tell you the difference between the two. I'll tell you what factors should you account while making this choice. Okay? While making this decision, what factors are often seen and should be seen by you so that you don't regret your choice later. Okay? So before I dive in deep, go ahead, do the daily ritual, follow us on social media handles so that you never miss a hiring update. Top 3 comments for today, get Prep Insta Prime subscription for free. So do not miss that golden chance. Okay. Now, before we discuss the factors on which you should take decision, you should understand the basic difference between MNC and startups. MNCs are multinational corporations. These are large companies which are present at various places across the globe. Okay, these are well settled, well established businesses. And I've put these logos so you can map in your mind that this is how a particular MNC or a startup would look like, right? You would have a basic understanding of things, right? So if I talk about startups, these are young ventures. These are trying to build something very innovative. They are trying to put a mark in the whole industry. They're trying to disrupt the industry with their innovation. So this is something where a lot of new business opportunities arrive. A new business platform is often called a startup, a new business, young company. Okay. So if I move forward, the first factor you should account is learning curve. In MNCs, usually the roles are very specialized. You work in a very specific domain. So the learning curve is very slow because you're not exposed to a lot of technologies. You are exposed to a single type of technology or domain. You might dive deep into it, but you will not learn a lot of technologies at the same time. Okay. Also, the chances of transitioning in MNC are very minimal. You might not get a chance to transition from one domain to another that easily in MNC. It is very tedious process. Believe me, there is a set procedure for that as well, but the chances are very bleak. You don't usually get that. Okay. Startups. Here, employees gain hands-on experience in diverse roles. Okay. Learning curve is usually very vertical in nature in startups. The reason is you're performing multiple duties at the single time. You're trying and figuring out multiple technologies at the same time. Okay. So in this particular place, you will have more opportunities to learn. The opportunity to switch from one particular domain to the other is quite easy here. Okay, it is easily available here. But in MNCs, you will not have that luxury. If I go further, the second thing is work environment and structure. In MNC, the workflows are very well established. The structure of the company is very well established. The organization is hierarchical in nature. You will have specific designations like SDE1, SDE2. Everything would be in a very set pattern. Okay. The communication would be absolutely formal. People would be following various formal channels to even communicate the smallest details. Even if you want to meet somebody, you will have to block calendar in a very specific manner. You will have to ask for prior permissions whether they are free or not. So everything is very formal here. Okay. They offer you a better work-life balance, let me tell you. The reason is, in a MNC, there are multiple teams. This is a large organization, okay? So everybody has set number of days to work, set time of logging in and logging out. So everything is very specific and well-defined in MNCs. But in startups, things are very less structured. It is dynamic in nature and this has its pros and cons both, okay? So employees here wear multiple hats at different times. Okay, they try and perform different roles at different times. I've seen people who are working as CTO as well as product manager at the same time. I've seen this in startups. So here you have multiple opportunities to learn various things. That is why the learning graph is steep, because you're performing multiple jobs. So you will learn different skill sets. Okay, the space for informal culture and communication is a lot here. People are very, very close knit in startups. The reason is teams are small. So here you do not get a chance of being very, very formal at times. You can simply go ahead and contact your founder. Your founder would be sitting next to you in a startup. This is a possible scenario in startup. In MNCs, this would never happen. You will very, very rarely meet top management in a one-to-one communication or in a one-to-one meeting. But in startups, this happens very frequently. You will meet the top management very frequently. So here the culture, the communication is quite easy. The culture is quite informal. You have the space for casual conversations, and the work-life balance is sometimes less here. The reason is, say in an MNC, there is a testing team, software team, development team, right? But here, this all might be managed by one or two people. So if something goes south on the website, even on a Sunday, those two people would be sitting and fixing it. So work-life balance is something that is missing from startups. Okay. Now if I go ahead, career progression. In MNCs, there are very, very clear career paths. The promotion policies are well laid out. They are very, very rigid policies. You don't have a lot of scope of flexibility in those policies. Here, career growth is often time bound. That is why some MNCs become bureaucratic in nature over time, because people are getting promoted according to time only. So here there's not a big scope that you do something very, very big for the company and then you get promoted rapidly. There's no chance in MNCs for that. You might get recognized or you might get some award for that, but there's no scope beyond that, generally speaking. But in startups, there are rapid career growth opportunities. The visibility of work is very, very high due to smaller size of team. So here you have a chance that you might transition from an intern to a manager in a span of 4 years. In MNCs, that would never happen. Somebody who joins at the level of SD1, in 4 years, he might be SD2, and if he outperforms everyone, then might be SD3. But here in startups, a person who is an intern, and if he works exceptionally well, he has understanding of things exceptionally well, he might land up as a manager after 4 years. I've seen such people. I've worked with such people. Okay. So here, there are no time-bound set policies for promotion. So the career growth is more performance-oriented, performance-dependent. The better you perform, the better you get into the career growth. Okay. So if I move forward, compensation and benefits, this is another factor which should be taken in account. In MNCs, there are salaries which are very, very competitive to the market. And that's true. Some MNCs, they pay you highly, right? They have benefits for you like insurance, medical policies, variable bonuses. But the room for negotiation in MNC is very less. You can't negotiate much on salary portion. Often in MNCs, there is a band structure for every designation. So you might find for a particular position, there is a band fixed, and beyond that, they won't give you money, right? But in startups, that is highly possible. Salaries and compensations, they vary hugely. So here you have chance of negotiating things better. Here you have chance to get paid highly. And here the benefits are usually missing. Okay. But there is a catch here, which is job security. In MNCs, generally the organizations are more stable. The revenue streams are very, very well established. Usually the employees feel very, very secure in MNCs, but in startups, there is a high risk due to unstable revenue stream. You might be getting paid very, very high in startup for 6 months, and post 6 months, you might not have your job, because there is a big problem of revenue stream in startup. If your startup grows, well and good. I've seen people becoming very, very rich suddenly in startups. Why so? They have stocks or ESOPs, which is employee stock ownership plan. If you go and read it on Google, you would find that employees also have this luxury in some companies that they own stocks. Even in the big companies, this happens. But in big companies, you will have to serve for a very long time to get that. Some startups offer you that initially itself to make their package lucrative. So if that particular company grows vertically, your wealth would grow vertically if you are holding those stocks. Okay. So the chance of growth here in monetary as well as in the career terms is very, very high. But if something goes south, you might lose on your job immediately. The firings might happen immediately, right? So realistically talking, there is no job security in startup. Okay. In MNCs, usually there is a security. However, if I speak about nowadays, we have seen market in such a scenario where no organization could promise you an absolute job security. There were big companies who were laying people off. So this is something you should very, very carefully analyze and take that decision for yourself. Okay. I have discussed all the factors, but how to make a choice? That is a big question. What you can do is do one exercise. Take a piece of paper, write down your priorities, and then check which particular type of organization aligns more with your priorities. Check which factors are more important for you and then make the decision. List down these factors in the order of priority that you follow. Somebody might want a better work-life balance, a better stable career, a better laid out promotion policy rather than a very steep learning curve. So for that person, MNC is a very good choice. But somebody who says that I don't care about job security, I don't care about work-life balance, I am somebody who wants to learn for next 3-4 years immensely, startups are the place for you. Okay. So you take this decision, you take this call based on your choices. Just to make the informed choices, I have told you all the factors that you can account in. Okay. Whatever good you learn here, make sure you go ahead, you tell to other people, to your peers, so that they also make a very good and informed decisions. Whatever you felt that was not right, leave it here, do not propagate. But whatever you felt that was good, go ahead, propagate it as much as possible, spread the knowledge. Okay. So I'll go ahead and once again, I'll tell you to follow us on Instagram, go ahead, connect with us on Telegram or WhatsApp. Don't miss us to follow us on LinkedIn. The reason is, here we post hiring updates. So a lot of useful information for you guys is curated here. So you should not miss that opportunity. Okay. Also, top 3 comments today, get Prep Insta Prime for free as I told you earlier. So do not miss that chance as well. Okay. Keep doing good. Good will come back to you. It will definitely benefit you in some or other form. Okay. So just keep doing good for people without any expectations. Have a good day. Thank you.